If you're like me and you're nearing your 40s, you might be noticing some changes to your complexion. Maybe the elasticity is changing, you're starting to notice little fine lines that don't go away, and you're not quite sure how to adapt your makeup routine. Then I'm going to show you my favorite routine that will enhance your natural beauty, won't feel like you have a ton of makeup on, is beginner friendly, and will get you out the door quickly. I'm going to start this video by sharing my biggest tip when it comes to enhancing maturing skin. I would recommend being very light-handed, especially with complexion products, to keep your skin looking youthful and radiant. There is nothing like a heavy face of makeup that will draw attention to fine lines and wrinkles, dry texture, and just age your skin. So my biggest tip, which is going to be a theme throughout this video and every video that I probably ever make, is to be minimalistic and strategic with the products that you use, especially when it comes to your complexion routine. And speaking of complexion routines, I'm going to start off with the first step of this makeup look, and that's using a tinted moisturizer. So I'm going to use the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. This has an SPF of 30 and it's in the shade of Gotland. I'm getting about a pea-sized amount of product on the back of my hands, and I'm going to warm it up so that it looks like this before I go to apply it on my face. So I'm just going to go in and start by applying this through the center of the face and work my way out. The center of the face tends to have more discoloration on me anyway, and that's where I know that I want more coverage, so that's where I'm placing the product initially. Once I get the product generally placed where I want it, I'm going to do this tapping motion to make sure that there's no little lines or fingerprints that need to be blended. And the reason that I'm using a tinted moisturizer is because you want really hydrating products on maturing skin, because maturing skin tends to be a little bit more dry. The types of products that I would use for the complexion would be anything ranging from a tinted moisturizer, a BB cream, a CC cream, or a skin tint. All of those products tend to fall kind of under the skincare / foundation category, where they're combining skincare benefits with sheer amounts of coverage. If you already have a foundation and you don't want to have to go buy another product, try mixing it with one of your moisturizers to dilute it and shear that product out so that you're just getting a thin veil of coverage, but you're getting the hydration benefits from your moisturizer. The next thing that I'm going to do is go in with a concealer. This is a eye brightener from NARS. It's not technically advertised as a concealer and they only make a few shades, but it functions exactly like a concealer, and it's what I've been using on a day-to-day basis and I really like it. I'm just applying this in the inner corner of the eye where I actually need it, not in this whole entire area, because I don't really have much discoloration here today. I might take a little bit and apply it right underneath the lashes where I'm a little bit pink. But again, makeup will enhance texture, and the less product that I use, the more natural my skin is going to look and the more youthful and radiant it's going to look. If you're somebody who has a really dramatic discoloration here, you might need something that has a little bit of a color corrective tone to it. The color that I'm using right now matches my foundation pretty well, but I don't have a ton of blue or purple under here, so I don't really need something that has peach in it. There's different color corrective tones depending on your skin tone. Sometimes you need something that has a little bit more peach, a little bit more pink, or a little bit more orange. Again, being very, very light-handed and minimalistic. I'm doing this stippling motion as opposed to wiping because this is going to allow me to build up the product. This is as much as I would typically do for a complexion routine on myself. Sometimes I'll even skip the tinted moisturizer and just use concealer. So the next thing that I'm going to do is eyebrows. For me, if I'm working on a client and I only have 5 to 10 minutes to really get the most impact, the things that are going to translate the most are a cheek, eyebrow, and lip. Those 3 things will make sure that somebody looks awake, that their bone structure is standing out, that they have a healthy flush, and there's some structure to the face. So I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows next. The product that I'm going to be using is new to my makeup collection, and the reason that I'm using it is because this video is geared towards a more mature audience, and this product will cover gray hair. So the product that I'm referring to and that I'm going to use is the Wonderskin Dream Brow Gel Serum. And what I'm going to do is comb my eyebrows up into place, and I'm just going to grab a tiny bit of this product on my brush. I'm going to use this the same way that I would in eyeshadow. So applying and combing through. This is kind of an innovative product and there are some unique features, and if you want to hear the whole review and get a more in-depth demonstration, like I said, I will link a video below for you. So if you look at this half of my face compared to this half, you can see how that really does have a big impact. Let's go ahead and just finish my other eyebrow. And I like to focus the product more on the outside of my eyebrow, the outer 2/3 from like here out, because that's where I have the least amount of hair. And I don't want the inside of my eyebrow right here to be really dense and dark. My ideal is to not have it look like I have product in my brows, that they're just naturally thicker and that I didn't pluck them all out 20 years ago. So I don't tend to be too focused on trying to make my eyebrows look perfectly symmetrical. I do notice that this eyebrow needs a little bit more at the top here. This one is a little bit more rounded and this one is a little bit more angular, as you can see. Try to correct that a little bit, but I don't. Wow, that went on a little bit heavier than expected, but we're just gonna comb that out. I don't really freak out about the symmetry as long as they look like they're kind of related. So this next step is not necessary, but because I'm brow obsessed, I like to go ahead and set my eyebrows with a brow gel. No matter what kind of product that I use to add color and define the shape, I just like the way that a clear brow gel adds shine and adds hold and kind of makes the hair stand out from the product that's laying on the skin behind the hair. So you can see that this really adds some structure and color back into my face. It even defines my eyes without me having to do any eye makeup. And that's one of the reasons why I think having your brows done is really impactful. And it's one of the 3 things that I really focus on if I'm doing a really quick minimalistic makeup routine. So next up, I'm going to go in and do my cheeks. I'm going to apply 2 products to my cheeks. The first one is from Ilia, and it is a cream blush. They call this a Multistick, I believe, and this is the shade of Whisper. So this is a product that can be applied to your eyes, cheeks, and lips, and it's this really beautiful coral shade. So I'm going to take this. This is a pretty tacky blush. It definitely has a little bit of a stickier feel to it than some other cream blushes that I've used, but it's really hydrating, and the thing that I love about cream blushes is that they tend to just melt in with the skin and melt in with other creamy products like the Tinted Moisturizer that I used and just have a skin-like finish as opposed to a powder which can look like a dry product sitting on top of the skin or makeup. I'm going to go in with a stippling brush from e.l.f. and just shear this out. Ilia is a very natural makeup brand and all of their complexion products have this smell to them. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It might be minerals that are in the makeup. Kind of smells like Play-Doh. So if you're sensitive to smells, you might not like the smell of that, but the blush itself is really beautiful and blends in really nicely. I tend to like using stippling brushes over my fingers when applying cream blushes because I don't get any fingerprints and I just think it's easier to buff things out. So going in with a second layer, since I'm not doing a lot of other makeup, I can afford to have a slightly heavier cheek or a slightly more pigmented cheek. So in my other video, I talked about how there are different blush placements. I tend to cover the apple of my cheek, the fuller part of my cheek, and swipe upwards, which creates kind of a fuller, youthful effect, which if your face is kind of gaunt and you're losing fat in your cheeks and you need it to look a little bit fuller, then having the placement here will help achieve that. If you're wanting to kind of emphasize a high sculpted cheekbone, then concentrating the blush up in here and sometimes even wrapping it around the temple can help you achieve that effect. Generally speaking, I think that whether or not you're applying it on the apple of the cheek or you're applying it higher on the cheekbone, they're both really beautiful placements. It just depends on the effect that you're trying to achieve. And as long as there's no lines of demarcation where the blush ends and you look relatively symmetrical and it's blended, then I think have fun and do the placement that makes you feel the most beautiful. So I'm going to use this Pixi On The Glow Super Glow Stick. This product actually isn't mine. It belongs to my cousin who's 16 and her skin always looks radiant. So I nabbed it from her makeup kit for this video. If you want to be a little bit heavier handed with a highlighter, you can grab it directly on your finger and go in and place it. You can also take a little bit of this in the inside of the eye and right above the top lip. If I rotate my face back and forth, hopefully you can see the light reflecting off of that and just how it adds luminosity and just gives the skin this really beautiful hydrated glow. I'm going to just quickly curl my lashes and throw some mascara on. If you have really straight eyelashes, curling your lashes can help open your eyes up. It takes a little getting used to if you're not used to curling your eyelashes, but you want to make sure that the lash curler is placed all the way up against the base of your eyelashes to get the most impactful curl. And if I look straight in the mirror, you can see the difference. These eyelashes aren't curled, these ones are. And what it does is it makes your lashes kind of contrast against your eyelid. And then when you put mascara on, your eyes just look more open and your lashes actually stand out more than they would if you didn't curl your eyelashes. So the mascara that I'm going to use is from Clinique. It's the Lash Power Mascara. It's a long wearing formula. This is in the shade of brown, which I don't know if they make anymore, but I still love this formula in the brush because it's a really small brush with really short little bristles, which I find gives me a lot more control. This is also great for bottom lashes. If you have little itty bitty tiny bottom lashes, this brush works really, really well to coat your lashes but not touch your skin. Another tip, if you don't want mascara to be running underneath your eyes, use a tubing mascara, and also don't put a lot of creamy products right underneath this area. So don't apply a lot of moisturizer, don't apply a lot of concealer, and if you do apply concealer, set it with a tiny bit of powder if you're somebody who is prone to mascara running. The last thing is lips. I'm gonna go ahead and use the same cheek color. It's multi-use and I want to get my money's worth, so I'm now going to go in with a lip liner. I'm using Rosewood lip liner from Wonderskin, and I'm just going to gently go around the edges of my lip to get a little bit more definition with this. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this and also apply it to the center of my bottom lip. There's already a bit of highlight, like the light is reflecting off there, but I would just want to see what it looks like if I apply this highlighter over it. Doesn't make a ton of difference, but why not? If you have the product, go ahead and use it. Lastly, I'm going to take a tiny bit of powder and I'm going to go in and apply this underneath the eyes because I don't want creasing, around the nose where I tend to get a little bit shiny, and through here. We just spent time creating a really luminous, plump, hydrating complexion, and if we use a ton of powder, it's just going to emphasize any dryness and kind of detract from that light reflecting quality that really makes the skin look youthful and healthy. So this is the final look, and you can customize the colors for your complexion and your preferences. It's more about the types of products and techniques that are being used and the specific features that are being emphasized. So again, it's creating a really lightweight, luminous, natural looking complexion with hydrating, lightweight products, and then going in and emphasizing the eyebrows, the cheeks, and the lip and making them the focal point. We do draw a little bit of attention to the eyes by curling the lashes and applying mascara, and by all means you can do whatever else you want to your eyes that makes you feel comfortable, but if you're in a pinch and you don't have a lot of time, emphasizing these features with this technique will make anyone look beautiful, awake, healthy, radiant, and youthful. If you found this video helpful or if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future content. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.